The implementation of IALA voyage system began in the 1980s. Still, many of the countries across the globe remain to adopt and follow the IALA system. The change to the new system, although gradual, is happening slowly. As recently as the 1970s, there were more than 30 voyage systems in use around the world. This caused confusion and accidents, and it was after two fatal incidents in the Dover Straits in 1971 that the IALA, International Association of Marine Aids to Navigation and Lighthouse Authorities, was established. There followed a worldwide effort to develop a safe, unified maritime voyage system that could be followed by all vessels at sea. This resulted in the IALA Maritime Voyage System, and by 1980, there were just two systems in use, IALAA and IALAB. Although there is not as yet one unified system for the whole world. This was a major achievement nonetheless, and the differences between IALAA and IALAB are only minor. The IALA chose the two systems in order to keep the number of changes to existing systems to a minimum and to avoid major conflict.
Hello and welcome to today's video, where I'm going to be talking about direction of buoyage. I'm going to be showing you the importance of knowing direction of buoyage, especially when it comes to lateral marks, and how it will show you on which side of the buoy it is safe to pass. So when we're talking about direction of buoyage, let's understand the importance. If we take this example vessel, and she's approaching a starboard lateral mark. Of course, if she's following the direction of buoyage, she needs to leave that buoy on her starboard side. If you didn't know direction of buoyage, however, all of these vessels would also be leaving that buoy on their starboard side. There's no indication as to where the safe water actually is. On this diagram we can see the large underwater hazard bordered by starboard lateral marks. Now when we know where the hazard is, it's obvious on what side of the buoy we need to pass. But if we're just sailing along and all we can see is that buoy, we need to know direction of buoyage to know on which side we need to leave the buoy. On a chart, direction of buoyage would be given by this symbol. Sometimes it's coloured in like this, indicating green to starboard, red to port. And what direction of buoyage means is that if you're travelling in this direction following the arrow, you are following the direction of buoyage. In our example, the vessel needs to leave the starboard marks on her starboard side when following the direction of buoyage. Conversely, if she's running against the direction of buoyage, she would need to leave those marks on her port side. Now, as we've said, direction of buoyage on a chart is indicated by these two symbols. But there are also other ways to tell. If we look at it on a world scale, direction of buoyage runs clockwise around continental land masses. I've illustrated here around the North and South American continents the way that direction of buoyage actually runs. You need to bear in mind, however, that in places where there's a gap or an island, direction of buoyage may not be immediately obvious. For example, in Europe, direction of buoyage would run clockwise around the continent, but around the United Kingdom, it may not be running clockwise all the way round, so there may be places where it appears direction of buoyage is going the wrong way. You'd always need to check the chart to be certain exactly which way it's running. Another way to tell is direction of buoyage will run into ports. We can see this vessel approaching Venice. She knows she's going in, so she's going to be following the direction of buoyage. She'll leave the starboard marks on the starboard side and the port marks on the port side. Of course, in this particular case it's quite obvious because you're just staying between the marks, but you may get an instance where there's only a green mark or only a red mark. Another way to tell, again looking at Venice, we can look at the buoy down here, and this is a safe water mark, or a fairway buoy, and we know direction of voyage will run from the fairway buoy. This will be particularly helpful if you're going up for oral exams, and sometimes the examiner might just put a safe water mark down and expect you to know the direction of voyage runs from this mark.
The difference between the two systems is the color and light characteristic used for lateral marks. IALA Region A, port lateral marks and lights are color red. IALA starboard lateral marks and lights are colored green. IALA Region B, port lateral marks and lights are colored green. IALA B, starboard lateral marks and lights are colored red. Lateral marks indicate the port and starboard sides of navigable channels. These are used in accordance with the direction of voyage for the region or specific location. As indicated on marine charts, where a channel divides, a modified or preferred channel mark may be used to indicate the preferred route to take. In IALA Region A, the lateral marks on the starboard side of the channel are colored green and should be passed on the starboard side of the vessel. Those on the port side of the channel should be passed on the port side of the vessel. In IALA Region B, the lateral marks on the starboard side of a channel are colored red, and on the port side are colored green. IALA Maritime Voyage System has helped to overcome these difficulties to a great extent, thereby aiding mariners of all nationalities navigating anywhere in the world to fix their position and avoid dangers without fear of ambiguity now and for the years to come. IALA Maritime Voyage System has helped to overcome these difficulties to a great extent, thereby aiding mariners of all nationalities navigating anywhere in the world to fix their position and avoid dangers without fear of ambiguity now and for the years to come.